Good afternoon. My name is Harley Talbot. I will be your instructor this evening. Um, in this course, we will discuss the proper fit testing methods for respiratory systems. Um, and hopefully, by the end of this course, you will have a better understanding on how this system works, and you can bring it back to your company to provide them with uh, a better testing method. A little bit about myself. I've been in the field for 10 years. I'm the co-owner and founder of Reckless Safety LLC. We're based out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Um, as far as this course, I have taken and passed the course. I've also redesigned this course to better fit the modern times of safety. Today, you are joined by professionals in the field who, like yourselves, will be conducting the proper fit test to workers on your specific job sites. Um, you all will be the ones performing these tests, making sure that everyone has the proper fitting and safe equipment for them to use. Just a quick learning objective. Hopefully by the end of this 15-minute presentation, you guys will be able to follow the procedures that allow a worker to properly choose and put on a respirator that provides a perfect fit for a specific job and ultimately know how to run the fitting test. If you see below, I do have the OSHA standard that is referencing not only respiratory protection, but the proper steps to conduct a fit test. For this course, you will have no prerequisites, but in order to pass this course, you will be required to stay for the entire presentation, and at the end, we will be performing a fit test with the steps you will learn. It will be adhering to the OSHA standards that are found in Part 1910 of the OSHA handbook. Um, so we will be conducting a test on that. Alright, so just as a refresher, we will go over some basic respirator knowledge. By definition, as you all know, a respirator is an apparatus worn over the mouth and nose or the entire face to prevent the inhalation of dust, smoke, or other noxious substances. Um, just to touch base, we will cover some more of this later on, but you must wear the same make, model, and size respirator after you do the fit test and know what you need exactly. A respirator cannot protect your face if it doesn't fit your face. It's pretty simple, guys. Certain respirators, known as tight-fitting respirators, must form a tight seal with your face or neck to work properly. If your respirator doesn't fit your face properly, contaminated air can leak into your respirator face piece. You can breathe in hazardous substances. So before you wear a tight-fitting respirator at work, you must make sure that it fits you properly. And that's just what we're trying to get across to you here. Your employer will do this by performing the fit test that we're going to teach you guys. They're going to perform the fit test on you while you wear the same make, model, and size of the respirator that you will be using on the job specifically. That way you know that the respirator will fit you properly and can protect you as long as you use it correctly. In addition, before you use a respirator or are fit tested, your employer must ensure that you are medically able to wear it. So what exactly is a fit test? A fit test tests the seal between a respirator's face piece and your face. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Often doesn't take that long to complete, and it is performed once a year. After passing a fit test with a respirator, you must use the exact same make, model, style, and size respirator as the one you will be using on the job. I can't stress that enough. Can't change it up or it will not fit you properly. A fit test, for one, should not be confused with a user seal check. A user seal check is a quick check performed by the wearer each time the respirator is put on. So that's when you're using the same respirator. You just want to make sure that the seals are good to go. But a fit test is before the seal test. That's making sure it's the right size for you and makes, models, and stuff like that. It pretty much determines if the respirator is properly seated to the face or if it needs to be readjusted. Alright, so before we even start the fit test, your employer must ensure that you're medically able to even use the respirator on the job. And pretty much all that is they perform a physical to ensure that you're up to par with what they need for the job. Checking out your health, make sure you don't have any heart conditions, any problems using a respirator for a long time. Um, because anytime you are using a respirator on the job site, the odds are it is pretty grueling work, and they definitely don't want you to be passing out or dying on the job because you're not fit for that job. One other thing they must do is they must provide you with a respirator if you choose not to use your own. And even if you do choose to use your own, they must perform the fit test and make sure it works fine for you, because they don't want to be liable if the one you bring isn't up to par, pretty much. Um, but they must provide you with a respirator if the job requires you to have one. Um, and in using a respirator that fits you properly, you will ensure being healthy and safe. Um, and that's the whole mission here. Now, when it comes to performing a fit test, there you could pretty much say it's divided into two sections. You have the quantitative section and the qualitative section of the test, and I will go further into explaining that for you. So to start explaining first, we'll deal with the quantitative section of the fit test. And when it comes to the quantitative section, it's pretty much the part that um, goes with the way it actually fits on your face, whereas qualitative would be how well it actually performs. So with the quantitative, mostly looking for the comfort sections, the way it sits on your face. The four main things you want to look for is the position of the mask on your nose. Um, Make sure there's room for eye protection, and that's something that'll go with the people who wear glasses and that type of thing. Um, the way the chin strap is actually placed on you, and the tendencies for the respirator to slip. And one of the main problems that comes up with respirators not properly fitting is facial hair. It's a very aggravating subject because most men want to have facial hair, but in certain job areas, you absolutely can't. It will interfere with the seal on the respirator if you have facial hair or if you have long hair getting in the way of your face and the respirator. Um, Anything like a beard or mustache can affect your respirator's ability to protect you. So anything that comes between your face and the respirator seal or gets into the respirator's valves even can allow contaminated air to leak into the respirator facepiece, and you will not be protected. And another thing that we will be testing for in a proper fit, as far as the quantitative side of things, is the way the respirator sits on your face while you're moving around. Um, we do test multiple actions and movements while sustaining the proper fit to make sure it is the right size for you. Um, Employers must ensure that the employees perform the test exercises in appropriate test environment, and it will be in the following manner. Uh, One, you're breathing. You want to be standing in a normal breathing position without talking, and the subject shall breathe normally. Another part of the breathing process, you have deep breathing, and that is also in a normal standing position. The subject shall breathe slowly and deeply, taking caution so as to not hyperventilate. You also turn your head side to side, standing in place. You will slowly turn your head from side to side between extreme positions on each side. Your head shall be held at each extreme momentarily so the subject can inhale at each side. Um, you will also be moving your head up and down, standing in place. You will slowly move your head up and down. Um, you'll be instructed to inhale in the up position when you're looking towards the ceiling, as well as when you are looking down. You will be jogging in place to make sure it is a tight enough fit on your head. You also have to talk. Subject will talk as loud, slowly, so that way you can be clearly heard by the test conductor. You can also read from a prepared text, such as the Rainbow Passage, count backward from 100, or recite a memorized poem or song. Um, Smiling and frowning, also any movements with your jaw and the muscles in your face will change the way that a respirator fits on your face, so you have to make sure you're doing that right. Now with qualitative fit testing, um, we are actually going to be testing the way different substances enter your respirator, and hopefully if you perform a positive quantitative fit test, there won't be any room for anything to leak into your respirator. Um, so pretty much qualitative fit testing is a pass or fail test method that uses your sense of taste or smell or your reaction to an irritant in order to detect leakage into the respirator facepiece. Um, Qualitative fit testing does not measure the actual amount of the leakage. If you do have any leakage, that actually would be tested in quantitative also. Um, Whether the respirator passes or fails the test is based simply on you detecting the leakage of the test substance into your facepiece. Um, there are 4 different qualitative fit test methods accepted by OSHA, but for this class we will only be using 2. Um, the 2 we will be using will be an isomale acetate test. This, if the odor were to leak into your respirator, will smell like bananas. It is testing your sense of smell through the respirator. And the second will be saccharin. Um, what that provides is a sweet taste. If the odor were to go through your respirator. So what exactly are the hazards of a poor fitting respirator? Well, we have this image here just kind of as a joke. You won't always die if you don't have the proper seal. Um, but depending on what industry you're working in, what chemicals are being used, you can get very sick, you can die, and you can um, experience health problems that no one really wants to deal with, especially not your company or your loved ones for sure. Um, so making sure you have a proper seal and the right equipment for any equipment in the on the field in the field, you want to make sure that you're going to be safe out there. Um, Having a good seal on your respirator can definitely prevent these type of things. And of course, there are different types of respirators for um, different jobs, and making sure you have the proper one for any job is always important. So when should you recheck your fit? Um, Anytime you lose weight, have dental work done, facial surgery, facial scarring, anything to do with the muscles and the bones in your face, um, it can change what size respirator you need. And with that being said, you want to have the proper seal so you don't end up like in the last slide in a coffin or really sick. So, of course, they do check. We do conduct a fit test annually. That's once a year. Um, but if you see big changes such as dental work, which is almost instantaneous, facial surgery will be instantaneous. Weight change may take a couple months, but it can cause you to need a new respirator. Um, so performing these fit tests will definitely get you good to go. So to conclude, I want to know what you learned from the course. What's some major points that you actually drew from? If you learned anything you didn't know before, I did provide a blank sheet of paper in the back of your trainer's guide. Feel free to write down that information, anything that would help me um, in later lessons with this class, maybe to explain it a little bit better. I also want to know, what do you believe are the main goals when it comes to achieving a proper fit test? Um, just feel free to write it down on a sheet of paper. If anything, I hope you guys got out of this that having the proper fit and seal on a respirator is very important, or else you wouldn't have the respirator at all. In the industry you guys are working in, the qualitative session of the fit test is more important than anything, I believe. Um, Making sure that these different chemicals don't enter your body. That's what the respirators were invented for, and that's what we will be using them for. Um, Making sure you have a good comforting fit. Um, if it if you have eyeglasses you have to wear, make sure it fits around those. If you have hearing problems and you have devices for that, make sure it fits around that. Um, Always have to be careful with the facial hair. It's always the main reason that the seals are broken. Um, Always using up-to-date equipment will also help. Um, and hopefully your company will provide you with the safest and greatest equipment they possibly can, and you will be able to perform these tests and in turn save lives and help the employees that you are working for. So at this point in the class, we will be conducting a fit test. We will go to our outdoor area where we do have a bunch of respirators set out for you guys. We're going to run through all these steps in more depth and more detail once we're out there, once you can get a hold of the equipment and see the different types of equipment that there is out there. Um, so thank you very much for this indoor presentation. If you would follow me outside, we can get that done. Thank you very much.